Good evening, Rancho Verde High School Algebra class. This is Mr. Langston. I'm coming at you, and today is the night of September 21st. And I have a substitute tomorrow, which means that you are listening to this on Friday, September 22nd, during class. While the substitute's there, I am still teaching you. Yep, it's a nifty thing. I'm sure you guys are thrilled with it. Woohoo! So, we have to find the slope of the line that goes through the following 2 points. This is part of your warm-up. You had 4 problems for it. I got them right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to go through it. First thing, with the slopes of a line, you know the equation for the slope, and hello, didn't mean to do that. Okay, that's better. You know the equations for a slope, and that's m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, the first thing you need to do is label your points. I always label the first one I see x1 and then y1. And of course, the second one I see is going to be x2 and then y2. Now, once you do that, this becomes a plug-in problem. So for instance, I have -7 minus, and now what's y1? Well, y1's -19. And it's okay to have these negatives next to each other. It's not a big deal. And now I have -2 minus, and in this case, x1's 1, so 1. So when I have two negatives next to each other, a minus is just one big plus. So I've got -7 plus 19. I owe $7 and I have $19. I owe $7 and I have $19. So at the end of the transaction, I still have $12 in my pocket. So, -2 minus 1. All right, well, I owe $2 and I spend one more dollar, so I now owe $3. Now, what I'm going to tell you guys is we don't like leaving the negative in the bottom, in the denominator. We don't like it. So you can either take and you can move the negative up to the numerator, or you can just pull the negative straight out of the fraction. I always move the negative to the numerator. So that being the case, I've got -12 over 3, and I can simplify 12 over 3 and reduce it. So that becomes 1, and that becomes 4. So I've got -4 over 1, or just, in this case, -4. That's my slope. For this one, my slope, m, equals y2 minus y1, and that's all over x2 minus x1. So, label your points again. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And now plug things in. So you got -4 minus 7. And that's all over -6 minus 4. -4 minus 7. I owe $4 and I'm spending $7 more. Okay, I owe $4 and I'm spending more money. Oh, I caught a mistake right here. Look at this. x2, I have -6 minus, and it's a -4. I put minus a +4. So I've got minus a minus, minus a -4. So I just saw that. Sorry about that. I'm going to keep it in the video. Why not? Shows that I'm human too, right? So -4 minus 7. I owe $4, then I spend $7 more. So in this case, I owe $11. And now I've got -6 minus -4. I told you guys, when you have minuses next to each other, it becomes one big fat plus. So -6 plus 4. I owe $6, and then I have $4 in my pocket. Well, I still, after I pay the person off, I still owe $2. And now what we're going to do is, when we have two minuses, these minuses, one at the top, one in the bottom, it cancels out. So essentially, I'm left with 11 over 2. Now, I always tell you guys, simplify your fraction. Do not leave it as an improper fraction. And when I say improper fraction, I'm talking the top is larger than the bottom. That's an improper fraction. It's okay to have the it's okay to have the denominator, the bottom number, larger than the top. But in this case, we got the top, the numerator, larger than the bottom. Normally, we take the numerator and we divide it by the bottom. And when we do that, you know how we get like 5, remainder 1. So this ends up being 5 and 1/2. But guess what? When we're talking about slopes, we don't do that. Only when we're talking about slopes. We don't do that. It's actually more beneficial to leave it as an improper fraction for our purposes. You'll find out later when we start graphing. But right now, just understand, we're calculating slopes, leave it as an improper fraction. So I've got this one. I'll label it x1, y1, x2, y2. And now, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you plug it in. So I got 3 minus 3, and that's all over 20 minus 19. So that's going to give me 3 minus 3 is 0, and 20 minus 19 is 1. Whenever I have the top number being 0, the numerator being 0, this whole thing is just 0. Because think about it. If I did my division, 1 goes into 0. How many times does 1 go into 0? Well, 1 goes into 0 0 times. So that's essentially what it means. So, all right. Last one. Label your points. Write your equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I mean, write your formula. And now plug it in. So I have 8 minus negative 13. And that's all over 17 minus 17. That's a 17. It's just a really lousy one. So let's make that better. Okay. So, and again, 2 minuses next to each other becomes one big plus. 8 plus 13, 21. And now 17 minus 17, 0. We have a problem. Right here, I have 0 in the bottom of a fraction. Essentially, what I'm saying is take 21, divide it by 0. You can't. 0 doesn't go into 21. This is a bad thing when I have a 0 at the bottom of a fraction, okay? This is when evil things happen, witches come out, cats sleep with dogs, terrible things. Nothing good ever comes out of dividing by 0. Black holes open up, okay? So because of that, we say that there is no slope when we divide by 0. In this case, our slope is 0 here. That's okay. We can have 0 in the top. That's cool. You can't have 0 in the bottom. Sometimes other books will write it as undefined. Okay, I just go by no slope. But undefined's okay because you're not allowed to divide by 0. You're breaking a math rule. So let's actually get into what we're talking about. So today, our focus standard is we're going to be writing and putting the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. Our content standard, we're going to do graphing. Power standard, we're going to attend to precision. Trust me, you need to attend to precision. Language objective, you're going to be able to articulate the steps that you underwent to get an equation of a line into slope-intercept form, as is evidenced by your writing and haiku learning. So you have slope-intercept form. Now, what is it? It's y equals mx plus b. This is something that you need to remember. Okay? M is the slope of a line, and b is the y-intercept of the line. Now, Slope-intercept form is used in graphing, okay? Or you use it for writing the equation of a line. It's actually preferred more often than not. And I'm about to yawn. So sorry. I'm doing this late at night. It's like 9-something. More often than not, you write everything in slope-intercept form as opposed to standard form of the line, which we haven't learned yet, but we're going to. Okay, but slope-intercept form is like the primo #1 formula that you're going to use. So let's talk about slope-intercept form. First, you're going to get some simple things, and yes, things like this are on your homework, so you need to know how to do this. All you need to do, write down slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. You know the slope's -3. Well, let's see. Slope m. Yeah, there's a reason that m's there, because we got the m here. All these m's represent the slope of the line. So if I say the slope is -3, what I'm talking about is this m is -3. And now the y-intercept is the b. So -3x plus 3. This 3 goes right here. This -3 right in front of the x. That's how you put things in slope-intercept form. It's no more difficult than that. So you need to write the equation of the line whose slope is 2/3 and y-intercept is 2. Yeah, no problem. All right. So we got y equals 2/3 x minus 2. Now, if you were to write this in haiku, you're going to write y equals 2/3 and make sure that is in parentheses. X minus 2. And the reason we make sure it's in parentheses is because if we don't have the parentheses, y equals 2/3x minus 2, this is what I'm saying the fraction looks like. If I had that, that's this. Y equals 2/3x minus 2. That's why I put the parentheses here, because the parentheses say keep that in the fraction, leave the x out of it. If I don't have the parentheses, the x goes into the fraction, and actually it's on the bottom part. So right there in the bottom. You don't want to do that. It's a no. Don't do it, neighbor. So there you are. This is going to be your answer from your homework. How long did it take you? Not too long. And I even did a side thing. So lastly, you got to write the equation of the line whose slope is 0 and whose y-intercept is 3. So I plug it in. I have y equals mx plus b. Y equals, in this case it's 0. So let's put 0. 0x minus 5. 0 times x. Well, that's just 0. That disappears. So in this case, y equals -5. Let's get some more challenging things. You're going to be encountering something like this where you need to put it into slope-intercept form. So I have 3x minus 2y equals -16. I need to make it look like y equals mx plus b, where m and b are numbers. Okay, so I have the b on this side. Hey, I got a number. But I need to move this 3x over. Get this y, I need it by itself. So this -2y is going to need to be by itself. So to move the 3x over, I'm going to take and subtract 3x from both sides, minus 3x. So when I do that, that cancels out. I get -2y equals -16 minus 3x. You know what? The x's come first on this side of the equation. So I'm going to take and I'm going to move this x around. Minus 2y equals -3x minus 16. I just switched it. And now I'm going to take and divide everything by -2. So I have, when I do that, negative cancels with the negative, 2 with the 2. I'm left with y. And right here, I got a negative in the top, negative in the bottom. Let's cancel those puppies out. And now, 3/2, I can't well, I could. I can change it into a mixed number, but I don't want to, because like I said, when you change it, when you're talking about slope, it doesn't help you. You don't do it. So I'm just going to leave that as an improper fraction. Improper fraction. And now I have -16 minus 2. Negatives cancel out. They become positive, and 16 and 2 cancel. It becomes 8/1. Or I can just say +8. I've got 6x plus 5y equals -15. I need to get y by itself. -6x on both sides. So when I do that, cancels. 5y equals -15 minus 6x. I'm going to rewrite that though. I'm going to say 5y equals -6x minus 15. And now I'm going to take and divide everything by 5. When I do that, 5's cancel out. So I end up with y on the left, -6/5x. What I did is I just pulled the x in front of the fraction. I can do that. Minus, now this simplifies. 15/5 becomes 3/1, or just, in this case, 3. So let's look at a problem here. I've got 2 times the quantity of 4x minus y equals 6. Well, we got to solve this. First thing I do, and distribute. So 2 times 4x, 2 times -y. 2 times 4x, 8x. 2 times -y, minus 2y. And that's equal to 6. So, get y by itself. Subtract 8x from both sides. That's going to cancel out. I got -2y equals 6 minus 8x. And now I'm going to take and divide everything by -2. So when I do that, cancels and cancels. On the left side, I have y. 6 divided by -2. Well, that's going to become -3. And I have, now here's something you need to see. I have -8x divided by a -2. These cancel out. It becomes positive. And now 8 divided by 2, well, this becomes 4/1. So what I have, I know it's hard to see, is plus 4x/1, or just, in this case, anything over 1 is just whatever it is, 4x. Now I still need to make it look like this. Y equals mx plus b. So I'm just going to switch them around. I'm going to say y equals 4x plus a -3, or 4x plus a -3 is just the same as 4x minus 3. Oh, another one to go. Wow, I'm so tired. So I got 5x plus 2 times the quantity of 3x plus 4y equals -48. And I hope you guys figured out first thing you do, distribute the 2. So I have 5x plus 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 4y is 8y. And that equals negative 48. I can combine like terms. I recommend you do. 5x plus 6x. That's 11x plus 8y equals negative 48. And now it's just like having this problem. Minus 11x now. Minus 11x. So I have cancels. 8y equals negative 48 minus 11x. I'm just going to switch these two because I want to. I can always wait till the end, but I just feel like doing that now. So I have 8y equals negative 11x minus 48. And now I'm going to take and divide everything by 8. Okay. So when I do that, 8's cancel. Boom, boom. This I can cancel as well. 8 and 48, it becomes 6 and 1. So what I have on the left side is just y. Negative 11 over 8x. I pulled the x on the outside of the fraction. And in this case, minus 6 over 1. But we should know that 6 over 1 is just 6. And that's it. Well, that's really all that we got today. I want to give you a friendly reminder that you need to do your homework. Please do your homework because I got report cards due. And report cards, I'm going to be having my grades entirely up to date as of this Saturday. And the report cards are going to get exported. So do your homework. That way your report card's good, nice, you make your parents proud. Do your homework. All right, you guys, that's it. I hope you have a good day. I will be back in class on Monday. So in the meantime, peace out. See you guys and be safe. All right, bye.